Hello everyone, this is Monisha. Today I am going to discuss about the topic key energy trends in India, the demand, electricity, energy production and the trade. Let's move on to today's agenda. First topic is introduction. Second, demand for energy in India, energy production in India, energy trade in India, challenges and opportunities in India, future of energy in India, and finally conclusion at last question and answers. Let's start today. Let's start today's first topic. Taking a small introduction. India is the fast growing economy in the world. As with the rapidly expanding population and increasing demand of energy. As a result, India has faced a experienced a significant change in its energy landscapes over the past few decades, which shifts towards to renewable energy resources and move away from the fossil fuels. In this presentation, we will explore the key energy trades in India, including the growing demand for energy and the challenges faced in meeting these demands and the energy efficiency. We'll also examine that energy trade relationship in India, opportunities for growth in this sector. By the end of this presentation, I will hope that you will better understanding the current state of energy in India and future countries' energy landscapes. Okay, without any delay, let's move on to the next topic. The first topic is demand for energy in India. As we all know that India's demanding has been rapidly increased due to its growing population, urbanization and economic development. According to the Indian Energy Agency AEA, India's energy consumption is expected to double by 2020. According to the International Energy Agency IEA, India's energy consumption is expected to double by 2040, making it its faster energy growing consumption in the world. The major drive for this demand are the industrial and the transportation sector. With the growth of manufacturing industries and increased mobility, there is a significant increase in the demand for electricity and the transportation fuel. Furthermore, the rise of household incomes and electrification programs will lead to increase in residential energy consumption as well. And the next topic is, here we go, a small pictorial representation of how the energy is going to distribute in our country. This is as per the 2015 according to that graph. So on that time, the coal is on 59% of usage and renewable energy is 13%, hydro energy is 16%, nuclear energy is 2%, and petroleum products 1%, and gas products is 9%. Let's see how the energy production is going in India. India is the country that the third largest producer and consumer of electricity in the world, with a total installation capacity of over 370 gigawatts. However, despite this impressive figure, the country still faces significant challenge in meeting the growing demand for electricity. One of the biggest challenges is the lack of adequate infrastructure, particularly in a rural area, whereas across electricity is limited. Addition to, Additionally, there are issues with the transmission and distribution losses, which can also account for up to 30% of electrical generation. Another major challenge in the heavy reliance on fossil fuels for the electricity generations. For example, coal. Around 70% of total electricity is generated in India by the coal, and it is significantly environment implements. The use of coal contributes to air pollution, which can also causes severe health consumptions for the consequence for the population. It is also contribute for the greenhouse gas emissions, which also contributes to climatic changes. India government has recognized this and need to shift the cleaner source of energy, such as renewables, but progress has been very slow. Now, let's see the graph regarding how much of installed by India electricity and On which basis? So coal we will use for to 61% of coal we are using for the production of electricity in India, and 15% is hydro, 13% is renewable energy resources which need to be increased, 9% of natural gas, and the small amount of up to 3% we use a nuclear gas, nuclear energy systems. Energy trades in India. How is the trading is going on in India on energy? India is one of the most largest importers of energy. As we all know that India is the third largest country of producer and consumer of electricity generation, but also India is number one largest importer of energy. Will import 80% of oil, gas required being met through imports only. This makes India heavily dependent on energy, trade relationship, and vulnerable to supply dist- distributors. One of the biggest challenges faced by India in securing the reliable energy supplies in the geopolitical risk associated with the importing energy from politically unstable regions. Another challenge is the variability of global energy prices, which can also have significant impact on India's economy. Now let's see the challenges and opportunities of growing energies in India. India is facing a significant challenge in meeting its growing demand for energy. One of the biggest challenges is the lack of access to electricity in many parts of the country, particularly in rural areas. This has led to reliance on traditional source of energy such as biomass and kerosene, are very expensive and polluting too. Another challenge is that highest cost of energy production, particularly for renewable resources of energy such as solar and wind energy. So, as we all know that the installation of solars and wind powers is highly costly. So, when we move towards the renewable energy system for the production of energy, it's being high cost for our country. As we are importing 80% of energy resources from out of countries, it's totally affects our economy system. As we continue with that, despite of these challenges, there are also many opportunities for the growth in the energy sectors in India. The government has been set ambitious target for increasing the shares of energy renewables in the country's energy mix, which is already lead to significant growth in this sector. There is an opportunity for investment in energy efficiency measures, which can also help to reduce the demand for energy and lowest costs. Finally, India's strategy location between major energy productions in the Middle East and Southern East Asia makes it an important player in the global energy trades, with the potential to become a major hub for energy exports. So, the future of energy in India? Let's say the future of energy in India looks promising with the government plans for meeting the growing demands. The country is expected to become the world's third largest energy consumer by 2030, and the government has set the ambition target for renewable energy generation. One of the key strategy for the meeting the growing demand in through the expansion of renewable energy sources such as solar and wind power. The government aimed to increase the share of renewable energy in the country energy mix to 40% by 2030, which will require a significant investment and infrastructure development. Now we are at the end of the session and we are come to the conclusion. In the conclusion, India is facing a significant challenge in meeting its growing energy needs. The demand for energy is increased rapidly due to the factors such as population growth, urbanization, and industrialization. However, the government is taking steps to address this challenge by promoting the renewable energy, improving the energy efficiency, and expanding the nuclear energy. Despite this efforts, there are still challenges to be overcome, including the need to reduce the dependency on fossil fuels and recover reliable energy supplies. However, there are also opportunities to growth in this sector, particularly in the area of renewable energy. By working together, we can ensure that India's energy needs are met in the sustainable and reasonable, responsible way. For your attention. Now it's time for question and answer. We are welcome any questions or comments you may have about these topics covered in this presentation. We encourage to engage in the discussion with us and share your thoughts on the challenges and opportunities present in the Indian energy sectors. If you have any comments, if you have any doubts, and please comment in the comment box. Thank you so much. Please like, share, and subscribe the channel. Thank you. Bye bye.